All right, welcome to Chapter 20. We're talking about something huge, the impact of big data on business. And for you, the folks building tomorrow's tech, this is where it gets real. We're going to connect the code you write to the big decisions being made in the boardroom. Welcome from Nexus. So, yeah, in this chapter, we're bridging that exact gap between the code you're writing and the C-suite. For all of you in computer science, this is where your skills go from being important to being absolutely mission critical. We're going to see how the systems you build are completely rewriting the rules for how businesses plan, compete, and ultimately, how they win.
Okay, so here's the plan. First, we'll tackle the old school business planning problem. Then we'll look at the new data-driven cycle, how to actually plan with big data, how to monitor, adjust, and experiment, and then we'll wrap up with how you and your team can get started. Let's go.
All right, first up, the business planning problem. You know, the gap between having tons of data and actually using it strategically. So, what's the real issue here? For ages, companies have been literally drowning in data. The problem was never a lack of information. Nope. It was the huge gap between collecting all that stuff and then using it to make smart moves for the future.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The old way, traditional planning, that was like trying to drive a car by only looking in the rearview mirror. You're using last month's sales report to guess what's going to happen next month. It's totally reactive. But big data planning, that's like having a high-tech dashboard with a live GPS. It's proactive. It pulls in all kinds of data to show you what's actually coming up around the next bend. So how do we stop driving with the rearview mirror? Well, you need a totally new model. We're moving from a straight line to a continuous loop. And I mean, this isn't some small adjustment. We're talking about throwing out the old, rigid, linear way of doing things and embracing this dynamic, always-on loop of learning and getting better.
And this quote right here, it just nails the problem. Think about it. A company might know what you bought, but they had no clue why you bought it. The connection between, say, a tweet you saw, the link you clicked, and that note in your customer service file, it was all just lost in the noise. Big data is the thing that finally lets us connect all those dots.
And that brings us to this new cycle. It's not the old plan and do and then you're done. No way. This is a constant loop. You plan using data, you monitor what's happening in real time, you adjust your plan based on that live feedback, and then you can even experiment to test out brand new ideas. It becomes a living, breathing strategy, all powered by that nonstop flow of data.
Okay, let's zoom in on that first step, planning with big data. This is really about building your strategy on a solid foundation of actual evidence.
So what do we even mean by planning with data? Look, it's not about just cherry-picking stats to back up a decision you've already made. Not at all. It's about letting the data actually challenge your gut feelings. It's about asking the hard questions and being totally open to the idea that the data might point you somewhere you never, ever expected to go. Just think about the kinds of questions you can suddenly answer. It's way beyond just looking at sales numbers. Now you can analyze call center transcripts to find out what people hate about a product. You can scrape competitor websites to see exactly what they're up to. You can even analyze social media chatter to catch the next big trend before anyone else. This is how you build a strategy on rock-solid evidence, not just a hunch. Okay, so this is where you come in. We've been talking high-level business strategy, but what's the engine that makes all this run? What's the technical foundation? What's the architecture that you, the engineers and developers, are actually going to build to make this whole thing possible? And here it is, the big data stack. Let's break it down. At the very bottom, you've got your physical infrastructure, the servers, the storage. Then you layer on security, of course, and the operational databases, you know, the CRMs and ERPs that run the day-to-day business. But right here, in the middle, this is where the magic happens. The organizing data services layer. This is home to tools like Hadoop, the stuff you use to process these insane amounts of data. Then on top of that, you have the analytics engines doing the thinking. And finally, at the very top, the actual applications that a marketer or a doctor would interact with. Every single one of these layers needs some serious technical skill.
Okay, so you've got your plan. The tech is humming along. Now we get to the really cool part of the cycle. Monitor, adjust, and experiment. This is where a business stops being this static thing and turns into a living, learning system.
So let's really think about this. How do you take a business plan? You know, that thing that used to get printed out, stuck in a binder, and looked at maybe once a quarter, and transform it into a dynamic experiment that changes almost in real time? Well, here's how it's done. For monitoring, you're analyzing sales data the instant it happens. A telco is using sensor data to make sure their network is up. For adjusting, you're changing a marketing campaign in the middle of the day because of what people are saying on social media. And for experimenting, man, this is where it gets fun. You can test different prices or features with small groups of customers, see what happens, and use that data to either double down on your strategy or, pivot to something completely new, instantly. Okay, this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But how does a company actually get started? It can feel like a mountain to climb. The secret is just to take some practical first steps. And this quote tells you exactly where to begin. It's not about the tech, not at first. It's about people. The first step is to build a team. And not just any team. You need a mix. You've got to have the business folks who get the problems sitting at the same table as the IT folks who get the tech. And honestly, bringing in some consultants who've done this before can be a huge shortcut. So to recap the first steps. 1, build that hybrid team of business and IT pros. 2, bring in experts if you need them. 3, understand the tools. You got to accept that at the beginning, you might be doing some low-level programming with things like Hadoop. 4, always be experimenting with new tools as they pop up. And 5, keep an eye out for packaged solutions from vendors that can help you move way faster. It's really a balance between building it yourself and buying off the shelf. And all of this leads us perfectly into what's coming next. In Chapter 21, we're going to get even more real-time. We're talking about how to take action on data while it's still in motion. It's going to be good. So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Just look around you. Your campus, your favorite lunch spot, the traffic you sit in every day. What's one problem that feels totally unsolvable right now, but might not be if you had the right data and the power to analyze it the second it's created? Seriously, think about it. The answer to that question, that could be your future. Thanks for joining me.